Like sometimes there's a plague, but you know, who hasn't had a plague in their lifetime? 안녕하세요, 다자ha. Hi guys, it's Janae and welcome back to my channel. Sorry, I couldn't pick which intro to go with, so we did that. It's a mix and match. So today I am gonna be doing a Q&A for 10K. I'm a little bit late. Originally I asked if people wanted to send in some assumptions about me or if people wanted to ask me questions and have me answer them, and the Q&A side won. So that's what we're here to do today. I'm a little bit nervous. There are quite a few questions and a lot of the questions have like multiple questions in them, but I'm not going to be showing the screenshots of it because I just want things to look uniform and neat, and these are from multiple platforms, so I'm just going to be putting them up here somewhere, and then I'll just tag the people who sent them in. But yeah, as I said, I'm nervous because there are quite a few questions that I have no idea how I'm gonna answer it. We'll have to see. Before we do get into it, however, I just want to say a quick and massive thank you to all amazing patrons and channel members. And if you're interested in joining either of those for early access and uncut reactions, links would all be in the description below, along with my social media and my PO box. And if you want to subscribe, that's always greatly appreciated. Also, my merch is also linked below. Here's a sample of one of them. I love my merch, I'm very happy with it. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into today's video. Okay, so I have the questions here in front of me on my laptop, so if I'm looking down, that is why. But the first question is from Dynasty Girl, and she asked, how old are you and what do you do for a living, your job? So I am 28, I think. I'm pretty sure I'm 28. I was born in 1995. It feels so weird not to know my own age, but I seem to have officially reached that age where I don't know my own age. And I do YouTube for a living. That is something that I've been doing this past year, even though it doesn't look like it, because somehow I still struggle with my schedule. I think it's because I tend to bite off more than I can chew. But yeah, this is all I do for a living, and I've started writing again, which I'm very happy about, and also like trying, just note trying to learn Korean, being really bad at it, but I'm trying. Then the next question is from Alan C with a bunch of numbers. I'll put the official tags up there, but yeah. So the question is, what is your favorite standalone novel? And oh, that is tough because I don't read a lot of standalones, I realize. Are we talking Danmei? Okay, if it's Danmei, we're talking, I think, but all of them are technically standalone though. Okay, let's squish Danmei aside because like all of them have many volumes, but they're technically standalones. So talking Western novels, I would have to say it's a tie between The Binding by Bridget Collins, if I'm not mistaken, and Circe by Madeline Miller. So yeah, those two I absolutely adore. I think if I had to choose between the two, The Binding might be my favorite because it deals with a lot of very grim topics that I would usually find myself shying away from, and somehow because of the way that it was written, I just really ended up loving it so much. Like it's a heavy story. Please check the warning and the tags if you're at all interested in reading it. Disclaimer, but it was so beautiful. It's a heavy novel, but I just loved it so much. It instantly became my #1 of the year that I read it in, which is saying a lot because I think that was the year where I read 103 books. 113 books, I can't remember. But yeah, so it had a lot of competition and I just absolutely adored it so much. Okay, wow, we're on question 2 and I've already rambled this much. I'm gonna try and keep it shorter, I'm sorry. Then Hannah Yolo asked, what is your favorite TV show, dramas, movies, and books? Oh goodness. Hope you have a beautiful day. Okay, that's a loaded question. Okay. Let me try and be neat about this. Favorite Western TV show is Adventures of Merlin, or otherwise just known as Merlin. Favorite Western movie, How to Train Your Dragon, I think. Yeah, let's go with that, because that entire trilogy is amazing, but it started with How to Train Your Dragon 1, so let's go with that. And then favorite book, that's like asking to choose a favorite child. Okay, I think maybe Percy Jackson, like Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, but the entire series would have to be that, because it was the thing that really led me into all my other reading experiences and so many other facets of my personality as I am today, that I would probably be a very different person without Percy Jackson, which is a very weird thing to think, but it's the truth. So I think Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, we'll go with that one for the Western things. Then Asian, oh, that's tough, because there's so many different ones. Favorite Asian movie, I'm gonna be cliche and say Yin Yang Master's Dream of Eternity, because that was so beautifully done, and there was so much world building and character building, everything that took place in one film, that it honestly shocked me. So I think that one. And then TV series. I feel like it would have to be The Untamed, because again, it was just, well, The Untamed / Mordao Zushi, because again, it opened up an entire new world for me. So yeah, I think that one definitely. And similarly then, the book equivalent, Mordao Zushi, as the novel, would also have to be my favorite Asian novel, because it was the start of everything for me, really, with regards to finding a love for Chinese and later so many other Asian media. So yeah, I think that's as quick as I can go through that. Hannah 2001 asked, how are you? I'm good, thank you. I feel like that's just the default answer, but I am generally good, thank you. And if you had to share a quote that you like, what would it be? Do you have a favorite show, book? Okay, that we answered already. What makes you happy these days? And hope you have a beautiful day, thank you. That's so nice. Okay, so favorite quotes. Oh goodness, I know, I don't have one. I'm not one of those people who just holds on to quotes. I want to be one of those people. Like, I often dream of having like a commonplace book where you just write your quotes down that you hear and experience in everyday life, and I always think, no, I'll definitely remember this quote, and here I sit before you quoteless. So I don't think I have a quote. Like, the only quotes that are coming to mind right now is the like MXTX quotes, and I'm pretty sure that's just because of the video essay that I did recently. Well, not so recently, but anyway, a quote. That's my quote. I don't have a quote. I'm sorry, that's a very bad answer. I might come back to this one once we're a little bit more into it, and I can maybe think of something in the back of my mind, but right now I'm hitting a complete blank. Okay, then Wangzi, I'm not sure if that's how you would pronounce that, but asked 3 MXGX favorite side characters and the reasons. So just because I want to be fair, I'm gonna limit myself to having only one character from each of the 3 novels. So with Scumvillain, A Self-Saving System, I think it would have to be Liu Qingge, just because he's so grumpy, but he's so loyal that I can't help but have like a soft spot in my heart for him. Then with Mordao Zushi, I think it would have to be Lan Shizui. I mean, who who can hate the best boy? I know like him and Wen-Ning are just toe to toe with regards to being best boy in that series. But I have a special place in my heart for Lan Shizue, because yeah, just the way that he was introduced, the way that he was kind to Wei Wuxian from the very start, I just adore that so much. And then throughout, like, he obviously still has that boyish nature because he's still growing and maturing, but he's just so well intentioned throughout the entire novel that I can't help but adore him, which is pretty much the same reason why everyone loves Wen-Ning as well. But yeah, I think for me it's Lan Shizue. And then with regards to Heaven Official's Blessing, it would have to be Windmaster. How can you not love Windmaster? Also, like, pretty much for the same reasons that I love Lan Shizue. He is so well intentioned and he's so funny, like unintentionally funny, and I love his loyalty. I feel like I'm starting to see a pattern here. But yeah, his loyalty to his friends and like trust in their good-naturedness, just adore it. He's so cute. Lelon Kane asked, what is your all-time favorite Chinese drama series for now? So I technically already said Untamed, but if I'm being honest, which you would think I would have been earlier, so let me explain myself. I feel like for me, if I had to choose between the donghua and the live action for the Model Zushi story, I would always go to the donghua. So for that reason, the live action side of things is still free. And because of that, I get to say Word of Honor. Can I cheat? Is that okay? I don't know. There's something about Word of Honor that just, it came into my life in a certain time, and I think also because Untamed I absolutely adore, but I will forever live with the regret that I didn't get to react to it when I watched it for the first time. Same with the Model Zushi Donghua. But I got to react to Word of Honor, and it was such a different experience, like getting to sit in the show, not binge watch it, and just like experience it at a bit of a slower pace where you really got to fully immerse yourself into the show, instead of just everything happening so quickly, because that's what I generally tend to do when I'm watching a show on my own, is I just binge it and then it's over so quickly. I don't know, Word of Honor. I have to say that, despite my earlier answer. I'm sorry. Okay, then Mark Lesney had 2 questions for me, but I think I only took a screenshot of one. So the other one I'm gonna have to try and remember off the top of my head because I can't go find it now. So we'll go with that one first. It was with regards to my opinions about Until We Meet Again, the Thai BL, because I have had people asking me to react to it, but I always mention that I have already watched it, and for that reason, like, it would be pretty pointless to react to it. I did do a few rewatches when my channel was still in the starting phases, but right now there's so many things that come out that I want to react to that I just don't see myself rewatching things. So my thoughts for Until We Meet Again. I had mixed feelings about it. There was parts of it that I absolutely adored, that was so stunning. Like, the opening episode was just amazing, and then some of the later episodes where you really get to delve into the characters' emotions, like after meeting the people again, as well as the character emotions from the past. All of that was so well done and so well acted. But I do feel like some of the present timeline scenes with the 2 main characters, I would have liked it if it had been more focused on building their relationship out a little bit, so we could get more attached to them in the present timeline. And there were a few scenes that felt a little bit filler to me. I can't think of an example right now. And not necessarily to do with the main character, just in general. Some of the episodes did feel a little bit too long, and I felt like some of the scenes could have been utilized better, but just yeah, the acting in that was really well done, and the emotional scenes I felt were really well done. And then the second question from him was also, how did your collaboration with Just a Lowly channel come about? I'll leave his channel link below if you're curious about him. But yeah, I honestly kind of can't remember. So I remember watching his channel, and his and Brittany's channels were actually the reasons why I decided to start my own channel, because I loved Brittany's videos, but she has such a vibrant personality, which my personality, unfortunately, I wish it was, but it's not like that. So I watched her videos and I was like, that is so cool, being able to kind of keep a visual diary of your experience watching a show for a first time. So that's where that thought first entered my head. But because I don't have a very vibrant personality, this is gonna sound bad, I really hope Lee doesn't take offense, because now like the lead up to what I just said, oh no, okay, I'm worried. But anyway, here we go. I have a really bad tendency to put my foot in my mouth. But because I have like a very dry personality. And then I saw Lee with his wonderful British sense of humor, but he's a bit more subdued. He will agree with me. And then it made me think maybe there would actually be someone interested in hearing my thoughts about a show if I were to start it. And strangely enough, that wasn't even really why I ended up starting the channel. I started it because I wanted to learn Mandarin, and I thought that if I subtitled myself while doing reactions to it, it's such a silly idea, but anyway, if I subtitled myself doing reactions to it, then I would be able to figure out my own speech pattern and thus be able to know which Chinese words to learn. That is such a silly idea. But anyway, so that's why I originally started the channel, and I've gone completely off topic. Welcome to ADD. But that's how I originally came about their channels. And then I think I might have like messaged him on Twitter or like commented on one of his tweets or something like that. And so we kind of became friends. And long after that is when I approached him and asked if he wanted to do discussions, because we do react to quite a few of the same shows. That didn't go so well, like there was a lot of glitching. And then came the idea of, what if we introduce each other to two shows that we wouldn't normally react to on our own channels, but each of us would kind of be keen to see what the other person thought of it. So yeah, that's the very long-winded roundabout way of how we decided to do the collab. Sorry about that. Okay, well, I didn't plan this, but the next question is actually from Lee, Just a Lowly channel. Well, okay, these are a lot. Let's go line by line. If you could have been involved in writing any BL, what BL would you like to have helped in the writing process with? Ooh, that's a good question. I've watched so many BLs, and a lot of them I just wouldn't change. And I feel like obviously if I were to be involved in the writing, it would be quite a different product. What was a show that I felt underutilized a good cast? Okay, so here are my two answers. I feel like if I was just there for the experience, not so much to influence the writing, I would have loved to be on the set for Untamed and like writing for Untamed, because like damn, the passion that you can see in that show, and like also in Word of Honor, but Untamed was, you know, was the first of its kind, sort of, in my opinion. But the passion in that show and the way that it was created, I just would have loved to see that. And then I think I'm kind of torn, because if it was with regards to influencing the writing, I feel like I would have loved to be on the set for I'm struggling between Guardian and KinnPorsche, but let's put Guardian aside, because I don't know how much of what happened was because of budget constraints and censorship. So even if I was on the writing team, it wouldn't influence anything because censorship would still be there. With regards to Ken Porsche, and this is no flack on the original Ken Porsche, it did what it wanted to do amazingly, and the talent throughout that was just so impressive. But like, I would have loved to see a Ken Porsche version where it was a little bit more focused on the mafia side of things rather than the relationship side of things. Like, I love the relationship side of things, but kind of the way they did with Manner of Death, where yeah, the relationship was definitely there, but the mystery was the main plot. So I would have loved to see a Ken Porsche where the mafia situation and like machinations in it was the main focus, and the relationship between Ken and Porsche was a little bit more of a slow burn. That would have been a very interesting, like if I could write a fan fiction AU script for it, that would have been something I would have loved to see explored. But yeah, so that's, I don't even know if I properly answered that, but that's my answer. Then any guilty pleasures in terms of music, shows, etc. That feels like there's a lot packed into that. Shows, not so much. I feel like if I were to define anything as guilty pleasure, it would probably be if I was watching a reality show that I wouldn't normally approve of myself watching, and I'm not watching any of those right now. So not any shows that I would consider a guilty pleasure. But music, maybe one very specific MV that I think, like, I don't know why, but the song is catchy, okay? It's called Learn to Mao. It was quite a viral song a few years back, and every now and again I catch myself still listening to that specific song, so I think maybe that one could count. What has been your favorite show to watch thus far? What has been your favorite show to react to? Ooh, okay, so that's difficult. I feel like technically Word of Honor could be the answer for both, but because the question separated it out, I'll answer it separately. So favorite show to watch thus far, I would say, has been Word of Honor for me. Favorite show to react to, and this is just more because of nostalgia, I think maybe, is the Lost Tomb reboot, because that was the show that really for me got the channel started, and I just remember how much anticipation I felt watching every single episode of that. Like, it was such an emotional roller coaster, and some of the BLs, they do have that in a sense, but I feel like because of the nature of BLs, when they give you emotional roller coasters, it usually makes you cry, whereas with adventure stories, it doesn't have to make you cry to send you on an emotional roller coaster and like to make you really excited. So I think Lost Tomb would be that one, because I just remember having so much fun watching that. I think it was also because it was the first show that I reacted to that I really was so invested in. But yeah. You can only pick 4 Stray Kids members. I hate this already. Insert scenario here. Who are you picking and why? Let's do the desert island thing, because I can't think of any other scenarios. Bangchan and Changbin for obvious reasons, because like they seem like they will know how to do the survival thing. Also take good care of you, hopefully. Minho, because he can cook, and I think he can like be a good organizational influence. And then Felix, because he seems like he would just be trying very hard to stay positive, and I would need that kind of support. Those are the 4. Then favorite Stray Kids song. I think Thunderous, because that's when I really fell in love with them. Like that's when I was like, yes, this group has my soul. And I think that was the second song that I listened to from them. I think the first was kind of accidentally Red Lights. I watched a fan-made music video for probably Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation or something. No, that doesn't seem like it would fit. I can't remember for what, but that had Red Lights in it, so I didn't even know that it had anything to do with Stray Kids when I like found Red Lights and listened to that music. And then later on I watched Thunderous, loved it, and then made the connection between Thunderous and Red Lights being from the same group. What's the link to my merch store? You can find it in the description below. Oh my word. Favorite tropes in BL. Ooh, least favorite trope. Least favorite trope regardless of BL or straight. Love triangles. Hate it. Hate it with a burning passion. Like sometimes it can be done well, but I've seen it done poorly more often than not. Or not to my taste, I should rather say. So, definitely least favorite trope. Favorite trope? Okay, this is one that's so specifically BL and that I didn't even know was like a thing before BL, is the stoic person who's usually untouchable being like a very weak drunk. I didn't know that was a trope I needed in my life. I love that. What show do you go back to ever so often to rewatch? This one I didn't think I would have an answer for, but if we're talking specifically about shows that I've rewatched recently quite often, weirdly enough it would be Beyond Evil. I don't know why, but that show just gets me every single time I rewatch it. And obviously it's also a lot less scary rewatching it than it was watching it the first time. So I love the vibe of it. It feels so spooky and eerie, and yet it's in weird ways it has such wholesome moments, and I just love the combination of it. Cause yeah, I like a year ago the answer would have been Untamed, but the show is quite long and I have a lot less time. So yeah, recently it's been Beyond Evil. What countries do you want to visit that you haven't yet? South Korea, China, Japan, oh goodness, Hungary, and yeah, I think, and Canada. I would love to visit Canada at some point. But yeah, I think those are the main ones off the top of my head. And then final question from Lee is, what is your favorite word? Oh goodness. This is gonna sound weird. It would have to be an Afrikaans word, which is pantoffel, and it means slipper. And I don't know why, but it sounds fluffy, and I love the idea of even the word connected to slipper being fluffy in and of itself. It's such a, I'm sorry, that's so weird, but it's the truth. Okay. Now that we're done with all of those, the next person who asked a question was K-Popalicious, and they asked, what's your favorite danme? What's your favorite video that you made on your channel? And there are quite a few other ones, so let me quickly do those. I think I would have to say Modao Zusha, because I'm a very nostalgic person, I've come to realize. And not only is the story fantastic, but there is also the nostalgia aspect to it, of it being my first anime. So yeah, I would have to say Modao Zusha. And then, what is my favorite video that I've done on this channel? I feel like half of this Q&A is just gonna be me admiring MXTX, but it would have to be my MXTX video analysis, because I put a lot of effort into that one, and it was so much fun getting to talk about two things that I love so much, aka her books and just writing in general. And yeah, I don't know, it was very interesting to kind of appreciate her works from a little bit of a different angle, even if I'm not necessarily the best person to be making that video. It just, I don't know, I really enjoyed it. Then, what series anime do you like most while reacting to it? A series, again, it's kind of between Reboot and Word of Honor. But anime, that's difficult because there's Sasaki and Miyano, but then there's also Spy Family. I think it would have to be Spy Family, even though like I so badly want to put them together. But if I have to choose one, it would have to be Spy Family because I had no idea what to expect going into that show, and it caught me off guard in such a wonderful way. I loved it. I loved that so much. What's your favorite part of being a YouTuber? This is gonna sound so cliche, but reading the comments, like getting to talk to people about the things that I love and like hearing their thoughts and their excitement about the same things that I'm excited about. It's so validating. So yeah, it would have to be that. What's your favorite comfort food? It's my mom's. I think in English it's called flapjacks. She makes them for me every single year on my birthday, so I just have a very warm connotation to them. But yeah, would have to be that. Which cuisine do you like? Ooh, that is a difficult one. Because I'm such a picky eater, but at the same time, there's so many foods that I love. I think a safe bet would just have to be, pepperoni pizza. Let's just go with that, because that's like the one constant in my life is pepperoni pizza. How would you describe your ideal holiday? In general, filled with visiting historical sites, graveyards, and eating food. That's my ideal holiday. I just realized that second one was a little bit weird, but I don't know, there's something to me about graveyards, like being the one final proof that someone who is not known by the history books once lived. So I like to go see graveyards when I visit places. I'm sorry, that's weird. But yeah, otherwise historical sites, museums, I absolutely love going and seeing those and experiencing the food and just like existing in the space. I know I have a lot of questions, but I just wanted to ask them. No problem. Thank you for asking them. Which BL trope is more of your preference, spicy or fluffy? Also, what is your top 5 favorite Japanese BLs of all time? Damn. Have I even watched that many? Okay, so favorite or preferred trope, spicy or fluffy? I would say fluffy, because the fluffiness can always make me crave spicy, but the spiciness can often put me off and not even be interested in the show as a whole. So I was editing and I realized that I'd answered the first half of the question, but not really the second half. My top 5 Japanese BLs are in this order: Yuri on Ice, Sasaki and Miyano, then Old Fashioned Cupcake. I would say it's a nice surprise. After that, My Beautiful Man, and I feel like Cherry Magic and Kieta Hatsugoi are tied in 5th place because I love Kieta Hatsugoi, but Cherry Magic was actually the Japanese BL that got me interested in checking out other Japanese BLs. So yeah, definitely need to include that one, even though I didn't react to it. Okay, then the next one is Poranglinos. I think I'm butchering that, sorry about that. But hey, your top 5 BLs of all time. That feels so unfair though, because all of them would, like the top 5 would probably be observed by Chinese BLs, because I just have a love for the fact that we get both the gay and the like fantasy plot elements, because we don't get that a lot in other mediums. So let me split it up and do only Chinese top 5 and then all the other countries there as well. So I think it would have to be Mo Dao Zushi, the Donghua version, Word of Honor. Heaven Official's Blessing would have to be number 3 because it's not done yet. but they're doing such a good job of it at the moment though. Guardian, and even though we only got 8 episodes of it, I kind of want to put Justice in the Dark up there as well, because like the 8 episodes that we did get was so glorious. Yeah, I'm gonna allow it, it's fine, it's my channel. Number 1 would have to be We Best Love number 1 for you. I love that so much. Japanese, I think maybe Kieta Hatsugoi, but then there's My Beautiful Man. Okay, because we got more content for My Beautiful Man, I kind of want to put My Beautiful Man second. Then Thai BLs, Be My Favorites. Like, it's a relatively recent Thai BL, but it did something so different to me in many regards, and I just loved not only the way that the relationship developed, but also like the world building and like plot choices that they made throughout. I thought it was really, really well done, and the acting was also so good. That's difficult. Now, Western, I would have to say, okay, here we go. So there's a show, I'm trying to figure out a way to like tip people off who know without like spelling it out to people who don't. So there's a show that even if it doesn't get aired, we will still find out what happened in the final season, in season 3. If you know, you know. That show is on here for my number 4. Well, these aren't really in a specific order except for number 1. I think if we were to put it in specific order, it wouldn't be number 2. But that show. I hope that answered questions and that I didn't accidentally spoil something for someone. Okay, then the next question. Ooh, this one is from Marie Schmidt, and it is, did you and Brittany from Gaywatch ever finish the deep dive analysis of The Devil Judge, or are you planning to? I know it's very time consuming doing the first 2 parts, but I would still very much like to see you unpack the rest. We did, in fact, film all of it already, but life is just kind of getting in the way of putting it out for you guys. It will happen eventually, we promise, but I can't say when, unfortunately. So it's there, it's in the ether, it's waiting for us to edit it, but unfortunately it just kind of is on the lowest priority tier at the moment. I'm really sorry to say it, because we had so much fun filming that, and I'm really excited to at some point get it out to you guys, but it just is not in the cards at the moment. So then James Amo asked, hi, I hope you're feeling better. I am still not quite recovered, but I think I'm as good as I'm gonna get while still being slightly sick. Then congratulations once more on 10k, thank you. Are there any movies, shows, or even books that you've watched, read on your own, but wish you could have reacted to on the channel instead? Ooh, there are so many. Mostly they're non-BLs. I kind of wish I could have reacted to Be My Favorites, because I just loved that show so much, but not gonna lie, I'm kind of glad that I got to skip over some of the more annoying parts related to Not, because I wasn't reacting to it, so very much happy about that. But yeah, there's definitely some I kind of wish I could have done my first initial reactions to both Guardian and Untamed on the channel. That would have been amazing. And also We Best Love, like I did a rewatch for that, but damn if I wish I would have loved to be able to react to those lives. And another one that I don't know how well it holds up now, like I haven't rewatched it in forever, but I remember loving it so much, was a Taiwanese BL called Trapped. Like, I don't know why, but it just felt so different to everything else that I'd watched at that point that I really wish I could have reacted to it. And then also Manner of Death. It really, that one really hit me and I wish I could have reacted to it. Then with regards to non-BL ones, I would say Love Scenery I really enjoyed and I wish I could have reacted to that. And Business Proposal as well, it just was such a fun show. And I actually feel like those two might have actually had people be interested in it because they were so they were kind of, you know, viral shows in their own rights, I think. But yeah, I think that's more or less the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Oh, and like with regards to the books, I would have loved to have read, read along for MXTX's novels when I first read them, but obviously that was not even a thought in my mind at that point. Then, what's your favorite, most underrated shows, films, books? Underrated films, I can't really think of films that I've watched that I've absolutely loved that were underrated. With regards to shows, the only ones that I can really think of were, there was Leverage, I really enjoyed it, but I think it was actually quite well known when it was doing its thing, airing. I still love that, it's just such a fun show. But with regards to other shows, I can only really think of one that I would personally consider underrated, and I think it's a hit or a miss. You either love it and you know, I don't want to say get it because it kind of sounds like, oh, you know, you're not smart enough to get it. It's not like that. You know, it's either your vibe or it's not your vibe. But it's called Sakura Reset. I think Sakura or Sakura Da Reset. I'll put the name up here if I can find it. But oh my word, that's I don't know what it is about that show, but I loved it to pieces. The characters I loved, and no, I can't get into my feelings for that show. I just loved it so much. I think a lot of people felt it was very emotionless and it felt a little bit pointless from some of the negative reviews that I've read. But for me, I loved it because it started out kind of as a Monster of the Week kind of vibe, not that, but you know, it had a serialized feeling to it, and then later on it expands and everything starts connecting and making sense. And I also like the fact that the characters were more subdued. They weren't the kind of characters that really wore their hearts on their sleeves. They were more subdued than, I think, the type of anime characters that were written at that time. So some people said that it made them feel emotionless. To me, it made them feel more real. And one of the main characters, to me at least, came across as perhaps being on the spectrum, which I actually quite liked. I really connected to her in a way, and I really loved the main character. But yeah, sorry, okay, that I just went on a tangent there. That would be my one recommendation. Then favorite, least favorite genres, and are there any interesting exceptions that you can share? Horror is very much not my genre at all. Can confirm that it's the genre that I would avoid at all costs under normal circumstances. But some of the shows that I've watched have very much kind of touched on that. Modazushi and all its various forms touch on it in various different ways, or to various different degrees. I would say Untamed is the least grim of the lot in terms of visually depicting it, because of censorship. But yeah, that MXTX's works are definitely an exception for me in that regard. And then, to an extent, I would also say Beyond Evil was an exception for me. I don't think if I was watching it on my own or read the premise on my own that I would have dared to trod near Beyond Evil, and I'm so glad that I did because I absolutely adore it. But yeah, so those are my exceptions. Then I would also kind of say Dystopia. I I cannot stand dystopia. Like, the world is dystopic enough. I don't need to read about an even worse scenario than that. So dystopia is not my cup of tea at all. But then again, Devil Judge was an exception for me. So exceptions can be made, but then it has to be very well written. And I think also the standout and like constant in all of those examples for me that made it, the exceptions worth making, were the characters. If you can make me love the characters, you can take me a lot further with the story. Then, have there been any shows, films, books that you've changed your mind about in any way? Not necessarily from I used to like where I don't anymore. Maybe you found yourself interested in different aspects of a story or something. With regards to changing certain aspects, I don't really think there are that many, because I feel like the biggest thing would be if I was watching a show or a movie when I was younger versus now kind of more seeing it from the adult's perspective. But there aren't really that many shows that I feel like handle things in a way where I was angry at certain characters as a kid and now I'm not anymore. Most of the shows that I feel like I would have gotten angry at the adults or the certain people in a situation and now I don't anymore, I've watched at this point in my life. So I can't really think of an example, but I will say that I've found there are many shows now that I appreciate more because of my studies in film than when I was watching it before studying film. Like, just getting to appreciate the way that set design and symbolism and so on plays into the overall story and the messages that people are trying to convey with the storytelling. It's so much more fun to be able to appreciate those things now that I've had that experience in college. I'm glad that I can appreciate it with a new layer now. You don't have to answer all of these. I did. Sorry for my incorrect English. It's not my native language. Never apologize. Never apologize for that. Like, I get it. Don't worry. I don't know how many more questions we have left. I don't know how long we've been going. Oh my word. This is gonna be hell to edit. I'm so sorry I've been keeping you guys busy for so long. Do you believe in the paranormal, ghosts, ghouls, demons? No, I do not. I find that people who do believe in it live infinitely more complicated lives, so I prefer not to believe in that. And then, what dress style do you gravitate to currently, and what other dress styles do you want to try out? I gravitate to whatever is comfortable and I feel cool in. It tends to be black. I feel like I just embodied Bangchan. But styles that I would like to try out, I've kind of like settled in my style that I'm in. It's not a very interesting style, but I'm happy with it and it makes me feel comfortable. So yeah, I don't really think I'll be going outside of that realm anytime soon. I'm not a very adventurous person, and I feel like if I were to try different styles now, it would just break my my budget, which I'm not very interested in. So yeah. Would you ever do a mukbang stream? On the one hand, I feel like, you know, never say never, but number one, I don't know if anyone would actually be interested in something like that. And also, if I were to do it, it would have to be a stream, because if I had to edit and listen to myself chewing, I might expire. Like, I can't. There's a very specific reason why I don't personally watch mukbangs, and it's because of the noise. Like, my noise sensitivity cannot handle the chewing. Like, it's for the same reason why I can't do I can't listen to ASMR. So I don't know, not likely. Never say never, but not likely. If you had to pick, which Chinese cultivation drama would you want to live in and why? That's a terrifying thought. Frankly, none. But if I had to pick, I would say Heaven Official's Blessings one, because it kind of seems like the humans in Heaven Official's Blessing just kind of do their thing for the most part. Like sometimes there's a plague, but you know, who hasn't had a plague in their lifetime? But for the most part, they get to stay out of trouble. They just get to carry on with their lives. They get to cultivate if they want to cultivate. If they don't, they get to just do their thing. Whereas, like with Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, you constantly have like zombies running around and murderous people ruling the country, and that just seems dangerous. I think for the most part, Heaven Official's Blessings, heavenly officials keep sorting out the things, and you just get to live your life and hope that you don't fall into the path of a murderous ghost. So yeah, no, I think that is the one I would pick, even though frankly all of them are too dangerous for my liking. But yeah, Wolf Under the Moon asked, what are your top 5 anime donghua picks? Mordao Zushu, Heaven Official's Blessing. Sealed the deal there. Yuri on Ice, Sakura Da Reset, and Orange. And like, I so badly want to put Sasaki and Miyono there as well, but if I'm thinking about things that like just really left such a lasting impact on me because they did something different, I kind of just don't have the heart to leave Sakura Da Reset and Orange out. From JCat we have, I'm not sure if it's too late for the question, but here it goes. You've mentioned before that you're learning languages, Chinese and I think Korean, correct? Well, the Chinese is on hiatus right now, but yeah. How many languages do you know, and when did you start learning them? Did your love of Asian media inspire you to begin learning them? And what would you like to do with your language skills? I can't say that I know Mandarin or Korean, but I'm definitely trying with Korean. I was trying with Mandarin, but because of COVID, I did suffer some hearing loss, and I found that when the tones were difficult for me before the hearing loss, and they became even more difficult for me after the hearing loss, and I didn't want to get discouraged from language learning because I was loving it so much. But I knew that if I was gonna just force myself to continue trying to learn Mandarin while feeling so frustrated, I would just end up hating the entire process of language learning. So I decided to switch over to Korean for now. And so far it's had its own challenges, but I'm really loving learning new languages, getting to understand kind of like the cultural nuances behind the different languages in a sense. And yeah, it's going okay. Not great. So I can't say I know those languages. So technically I am only bilingual. I know English, and then I know my home language, which is Afrikaans. But yeah, I did start learning them because I loved Asian media. I loved watching Chinese TV shows, and I started to fall in love with the language while watching the shows. And because of that, while we were in lockdown, I just decided to start learning it because we had all the time in the world at that point. And it was stupid, but my logic was, hear me out, if I can learn one of the arguably most difficult languages according to many people, if I could learn that, then it meant theoretically it would be possible for me to learn any other language. And that's why I decided to go with Mandarin, even though I was watching other Asian dramas as well. So yeah, that's where my journey with Chinese started, and then I ended up really liking it, but having the difficulties with the tone, and also the fact that with Mandarin you can't look at a character and now know how to pronounce it or how to try and look it up if you don't know what it means. Like, Google image search for translations can only take you so far. So when I decided to stop with the Mandarin or put the Mandarin on hold, my requirement, this is so weird, but my requirement was I wanted an Asian language that had an alphabet. And I really admire the Korean drama way of making film, so I decided to try and learn Korean instead. And I was intimidated by the 3 different writing styles for Japanese, so I just didn't want to even touch that. But yeah, so Korean seemed like the best option for me, and the reason for that is I would like to at some point be able to do English translations and subtitling for Korean shows. So yeah, that's what I have like as my ultimate goal in life with regards to my language learning, but obviously it's still somewhere in the future. I don't think it's going to be happening anytime soon. From ZXT Jour X, oh goodness, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but I hope I'm not too late for the questions. In addition to BL, will you consider reacting to other Chinese animations or animated films, those produced before 2023, and what content reaction videos would you like to do on the channel in 2024? So I don't like, with the shows I try and stick to new releases, because if you start going back and being like, okay, you know, I can react to this thing that's a little bit past its release dates, it's so easy to just be like, okay, but if I can react to this, then I can also react to that, and I can also react to that, and at the end of the day I only have so many hours, so I need to try and focus on things that are relatively current. But with regards to movies, I am keen to do more movie reactions, and those I am more lenient on because it's a once-off reaction. You know, it's not a dedication of between 10 and 26 episodes, depending on what kind of show you're reacting to, and sometimes there's even more. So those, I'm not like opposed to watching movies that are a little bit older. And in fact, there are a few that I have my eye on at the moment to film and edit. So it is also just a thing of like trying to find the time to do movie reactions. But yeah, so it's not off the cards, I wouldn't say, but I do want to try and be a little bit selective with which ones I do decide to watch. And then with regards to plans for 2024, I would love to be able to tell you what I'm going to be reacting to in 2024, but I have no clue. All I can say is I do want to try and set my schedule a little bit more in stone with regards to knowing on which days I'm going to be posting versus which days I'm not going to be posting, because I would like to be able to have at least 2 days in a week off instead of having no days in a week off, which is my current schedule. It was a goal that I had that I wanted to actually do this year, but I was not able to achieve that, so we're gonna put it as like a New Year's resolution for next year. So yeah, we'll see, but I would like to be able to be more consistent with like movie reactions every week, being consistent with my read-alongs, and then also potentially having like a Twitch or Discord stream of a show that I wouldn't be able to like monetize on YouTube. So these would typically then be like the Thai BL reactions, because they don't get monetized, so they're just there because I want to watch them, and you guys seem to enjoy them. So yeah, that's like the only real guideline that I have for what I want to do in 2024, but we'll have to see if I can actually stick to that, because I do not have a very good track record of sticking to all the glorious plans that I make. So yeah. So this took way longer than I was expecting. I thought maybe like 20 minutes. I'm sorry. I hope you guys still enjoyed it. Let me know. Like, if you want to answer any of the questions that were posed throughout this, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'm kind of curious to see what your guys' answers would be to some of these questions, especially the one about the cultivation. Like, but yeah, again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you again so much for 10,000 subscribers. I can't express how thankful I am for that. But yeah, otherwise I'll see you in the next one. Bye.